Good morning, and welcome to the July edition of What I Eat in a Day Mediterranean Diet. The foods that are in season for July are all the fresh herbs and lots of leafy greens, and things like peppers and tomatoes and cucumbers, and peaches are at their peak right now. So let's see how many of those foods we can squeeze into one day. For breakfast, we're going to start out with some nuts and grains and seeds. So I'm taking some almond butter. And I'm going to sprinkle in some sunflower seeds, some pumpkin seeds, and we're gonna mix this up. I'm gonna spread this on some multigrain bread. So I slightly toasted the bread. It already has some seeds and things built into it. I'm just spreading this on. I'm just going to sprinkle with a couple more, a few more seeds. There's breakfast. It's a really hot day here today. It's supposed to go up to, I think, 93 degrees. So for lunch, I'm going to make a chilled soup. It's a cucumber, avocado, radish gazpacho. You can find the recipe on mostly-mediterranean.com. But right now, I'm going to look at my herb garden and see what herbs I can find that I can sprinkle on top and see what will go nicely with it. So I think I'm going to use this lemon balm. I've been reading a lot about lemon balm lately, and I have some recipes for some tinctures and how to make some balms and things out of it. So I think I'll do a whole separate video on lemon balm, but for right now, I'm gonna pick some and we're gonna sprinkle this on top of the soup. I love having herbs right in the garden. I have plenty of lemon balm. It just sort of exploded this summer. That's probably enough. Whoops. There we go. Time to make the soup. This soup is so easy. So what I have here are 2 cucumbers. I'm going to peel them. I have 1 avocado. I have a shallot. I have some radishes. I'm also going to peel the radish to get the red off because I want the soup to maintain that beautiful green color of the avocado and the cucumber. I have some garlic. And then we're going to add some water, some red pepper flakes, a little bit of white wine vinegar, some extra virgin olive oil, and some salt and pepper. Everything goes into the food processor, so it's super easy. Wait till you see. I have everything in the food processor together. Now the liquids, it's a 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil, a 1/2 cup of cold filtered water, a tablespoon of the white wine vinegar, salt, pepper, and red pepper to taste. We're just gonna blitz this all together, and you're gonna have to let it go for a few minutes until you get the right consistency. And if you want it a little thinner, you can always add a little bit more water. Just use your judgment. Here's our gazpacho. I sprinkled the top with some freshly cracked pepper and the lemon balm that I got from the garden this morning. It's a nice, cool, zingy little treat. The radishes and a little bit of vinegar add a nice zing to it, but the avocado and the cucumber are very mellow. It's nice for a hot day. Peaches are really delicious right now, so we bought some at the farm and we're going to make a peach galette for dessert. In this pot, I've peeled and sliced up 4 large peaches, and we'll show you what we add to it to make it into a galette. To the peaches, I've added a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 3 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a healthy pinch of cinnamon, a pinch of salt, and I'm going to squeeze on some lemon juice. About a 1/2 lemon. And we're going to mix this all up, and it sort of forms a chunky batter. So let's fold all this together. In this pie tin, we have a store-bought pie crust. Now, a galette is a rustic, open-faced pie. So what we're going to do is pour the peaches in the center, and then we're going to fold these sides over to form a crust. And then we're going to sprinkle all the top with turbinado sugar. Here it is, ready for the oven. Here's the peach galette fresh out of the oven. Doesn't that look delicious? I wish you could smell it because it smells even more delicious. So we're gonna let this cool, and this is gonna be dessert this evening. Stay hydrated, my friends. I'm taking a lemon water break. To stuff the chicken, I've chopped up 1 tomato, a piece of a sweet red pepper. I have a red cherry pepper, which is a hot pepper here, and some basil, and I've put some salt on here. I'm going to mix this all up, and this is going to go into the little slots that we're going to cut into the chicken breast. After we get the chicken stuffed, I'm going to sprinkle it with this breadcrumb mixture. I have some breadcrumbs in here, some diced garlic, some olive oil, and some lemon juice. We're going to mix that up. We're just going to sprinkle that on the top. So it's not a breaded chicken breast, it's just a little enhancement for the top. I have 4 chicken breasts here. They're not very large, they're about medium size. And I've cut 3 slits down each of them. And this is where we're going to put the stuffing. We're going to stuff them from the top. So here they are, stuffed and ready to go. I think they look beautiful. Try to make neat rows because it just looks so pretty with the red in between. I have these chicken breasts now in a Pyrex baking dish. I gave it a little shot with some cooking spray. I'm just going to sprinkle on the breadcrumb mixture. Not a lot, just enough to jazz it up a little bit. And now these go into a 375-degree oven, probably for about 40 minutes, but keep an eye on them. Just cook them until they're done. One of our dishes for dinner this evening is going to be polenta with bitter greens. In this pot we have some dandelion greens and some Swiss chard, and we're going to boil them for about 3 minutes because we're just blanching them and they're going to be part of this meal. Here we have about 9 ounces of polenta. This is the hard solid polenta that comes in a tube. We're going to chop this up into just some rough pieces because this is going to break down a little bit into bite-sized chunks when we're cooking it with the greens. We're starting with some extra virgin olive oil, and we're going to saute some radish. Because I like to have something a little chunky in with the greens. When this starts to get a little soft, we're going to add garlic, because you don't like to cook garlic for too long. Then we add the polenta, and the final step is to add the greens, but you'll see it as it progresses. In goes the polenta, and we're going to spin it around to coat it with the olive oil. At this point, we might add a little bit more olive oil too, because the polenta absorbs it. But not too much. As we cook this, the polenta is starting to break down a little bit. Just remember when you're using extra virgin olive oil for cooking that you want to keep the heat low. It's time to add the greens. All those greens you see in the pot, wilt it down to just this many. Now we're adding some salt, some red pepper flakes, not too many, just just enough to give it a little kick. And a little bit of freshly cracked black pepper. And then we're going to cover this for about 5 minutes. So I think our first dinner course is ready. Sometimes I like to eat dinner in courses the way they do in countries like Italy and the Mediterranean, because it just allows you to slow down and enjoy your meal. They might have a little glass of wine, they have some good conversation. So that's why I'm just putting this on the plate by itself, and then we'll follow it up with the Mediterranean stuffed chicken breast afterwards. Doesn't that look delicious? This is so good. Italian comfort food. Here they are, fresh out of the oven. Thank you for joining me on this hot summer day in July. I hope you enjoyed the recipes this month. I tried to use as many foods that were in season in July as possible. So if we go back through the day, we had our whole grain multigrain bread, and we put our healthy source of fat on it. So we put on our almond butter and some seeds. And for lunch, we had the gazpacho, which was nice and cooling. And that contained cucumbers and radishes and avocado and shallot and garlic and olive oil and all good things. And then we had our healthy greens for dinner. So we had the bitter greens were the dandelions, and then the chard is sort of mild, and we mix that with the polenta, and it's just such a comforting food. The mix of the polenta just makes it so creamy, and a little bit of hot pepper flakes gives it a little zest. And then we followed that with our protein source. So we had the split chicken breast that was stuffed with the tomatoes and 2 kinds of peppers, the cherry peppers and the regular pepper. And then we followed everything with a peach galette. This area here is peach country, and everywhere you drive around there are just peach trees everywhere. All the farms have them, and they're so abundant with peaches, and I was really happy to put them all into a little pie. So I hope you enjoyed today. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and see what I'm cooking up in August, and we will see you later. Bye!